Hello and welcome to our channel. Today we're making an apron. We're going to show you how. First thing you want to do, you want to select your fabric, and you can see here that this is a nice bright yellow fabric, 100% cotton. What you want to do, you want to make sure that you have the salvage edge of the grain facing you, and you want to make sure directional, everything lines up. After your salvage edge is lined up, you have your direction going correct as far as your grain line is concerned. Take your pattern and place it on the center fold of the cloth. If you're interested in making a pattern, we made a video for this particular pattern, and we'll put a link at the end of the video. So you chalk out the pattern, and here I'm using regular tailor's chalk, but you can use marker, chalk, whatever get the job done, friction pen. So we marked out the main body of the apron. Now we're marking out the pocket. To get a good cut, you can use a rotary cutter or tailor shears. We use a combination of the two. So you cut out the main body apron, cut out your pocket, make sure you mark the wrong sides of both so you can identify the right side from the wrong side of the fabric when you're sewing. And here we're marking for the straps. So you mark the straps and you cut them out. Here our straps are measuring 2 3/4 by 44 inches. This is the waist strap. Also mark the wrong sides. Anyway, that's part 2. So we did the pattern, we cut out the apron, and the next step is to sew it up. Okay, so here we go. Let's do it. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to press our pockets, fold our hem, double the hem, which is a 1/2 inch and a 1/2 inch, fold and press. Then we're going to edge stitch 1/16, 1/8 of an inch from the edge. Here I'm using a 1/8 inch gauge foot, but you don't necessarily need this. Make sure you back tack your ends very well. Next, this is the main body of the apron, so we've already pre-folded. And what we'll do here, our seam allowance or our fold is 3/8 of an inch. Fold it over and then fold again 3/8 of an inch. Then we're edge stitching all the way around 1/16 to 1/8 of an inch. Okay, continue that same process. Edge stitching your sides and bottom of your apron. And trim your threads, of course. Make sure you back tack. Back tacking is very important. Same process here. Just repeat. And it's good to have the tools. If you have the right tools, make your job so much simpler. So, like I said, here I'm using a gauge foot. You just run it right up against the edge and no problem. Whereas though if you use a regular foot, your concentration level have to be a little bit more focused. Again, make sure you back tack. Very important. Next step, we marked our pocket placement, and now we're attaching our pocket to the apron. And again, we're using the gauge foot, and we're stitching 1/8 of an inch from the edge. The tools make a big difference. Here you're just going to make sure you pivot, and in the corner, you know, just make sure before you pivot that your needle is down at that corner and slightly raised up. And if you do that, you'll get a nice corner every time. Remove your pins. Make sure your needle don't hit the pins. You don't want to break needles. Nice and fluid. Nice motion. See? Here, when you get to the corner, just make sure right there. You lift up the needle a little bit, you turn, and you get a perfect corner. Otherwise, your stitch will be off. We're coming to the end. So again, when you get to the end, nice back tack for reinforcement. Looking good. Trimming threads. Trimming the threads, very essential. Always trim your threads. Here is the last step of setting the pocket. So you want to find the center point of the pocket and put a stitch straight down the middle. Now you can mark this, you can eyeball it, whatever makes sense to you. What we did here, we fold the apron in half, we fold the pocket in half, as you can see, and we ran our stitch right on that fold line or that crease line. And again, back tacking. Next step, we pressed one end of our strap approximately 3/8 of an inch, and the other we pressed about a 1/2 inch. And this will give us a 1 inch strap. We want our straps to finish 1 inch. And we placed our seam in the center of the strap. Now we're edge stitching 1/8 of an inch all the way down. Okay, coming to the end, so have to say it again. Always back tack at the ends. Here's another angle, another view of the strap. This strap here is actually for the neck. And it's a 1 inch strap also, with the seam down the middle. Here's the finished look of that strap. Very nice and clean, very neat. Here's my favorite part. Feed the strap through each end of the slider. Leave enough space between the strap and both slider ends so that you can form a loop. Once you form that loop, pull the other end of the slider or the strap through. And now that end, you just want to fold that end back about a ½ inch and edge stitch. Next, we already attached our facing at the top, but we left an opening at both ends so we can insert our straps. So we inserted one end of the strap, and all we're going to do here is we're going to stitch straight across, and we're using a 3/8 inch seam allowance, and we're going to reinforce that real well. You want to make sure that your straps are strong and hold up. So that looks pretty good. And the distance there from the armhole is roughly ½ inch to 3/4 inch when finished. Now we're going to do the other side. Here, what we did was we left our strap in long enough on the fold. Now we're going to cut it. It's a little hack for you. And that's going to be the portion that we insert for the other side of the net strap, connecting the strap to the main body and facing. And just like we did on the opposite end, we're going to give that a good reinforcement. Make sure you sew through that real well, reinforcing the strap to the apron. Back tack. Give it a real strong back tack, and you're good to go. Next, we're going to edge stitch or top stitch our facing through the apron and the straps. And here I'm actually back tacking over the straps to give it a little bit more reinforcement. You don't necessarily have to do that. Make sure you trim your threads. And we're taking our strap, we're putting it through the D-ring, and all we're going to do here is make it a slight adjustment to the strap itself, checking our length, and then we're going to fold back one edge of that strap, feed it through, just like we did the other side, feed it through the slider, and then attach it. So it folded back about a ½ inch, 3/8 of an inch, and then edge stitch 1/8 of an inch from the edge. Okay, so we sewed it up. Now it's time to inspect our finished product. Give it a look over, make sure everything lines up. All your stitching look good. Just want to make sure the quality of your work is as good as you can make it. So we just, like I said, this is our quality control inspection. And once everything is found to be acceptable, we're going to just fold it up and we're going to bag it and ready to ship. So there you have it. Hope you liked this video. If you like, please consider subscribing to our channel, and thanks for watching.